maybe before the very end.
Oh, okay.
But you can sit something like that.
Yeah, that's what you said. I'm going to take it's easy to do. You can sit out. That's over. I was for you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like this. Sir.
Bill, I have 1 minute, time once, when June gets, I'm not really able to.
Okay. And I've got a receipt for you, but not here, so I'll tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
You can put the edit for the.
I'm trying to be a receipt later.
And I'm glad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was not as good.
This is for Linda G.
Oh.
I think we just want to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send you this. Thank you very much. Oh, did you get my membership list? Last night?
Well, sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Well, it's typically part of the town.
So, issues. Want to see if we got everybody on?
I was happy. Did you say that Amy's online?
She's gonna try to get online. I don't see her yet.
Like, should she online?
No, no.
I'm sorry, Bill, what was that?
Is that already online?
No, I don't think so. Okay.
Hello.
Sounds good. I'll make sure. I will be on the report on the last. 1 second.
So you were asking.
Sweet, yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Water? Yeah, I dropped off. You know, we stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, we might.
So the neither drink, I'll be through.
So anyway, how we have fun. We have.
I'm about to start the meeting. Would you like to lead the blessing?
I'll be glad to.
Thank you.
John wants to,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got a minute after the street. Got one to bring? Yeah, I did. Yeah. So you were received, I guess that's not. Okay, welcome to the Forward International Rotary first day of the meeting of the year. And, gonna have a great presentation today by our guest. And then, in addition to that, we got some new stuff going on, and all excited. We got an excited brand new president. Man, he is something else. Not only is he brilliant, but he's handsome to boot. Is he going to be here? Oh, we hope so. So, at any rate, when he gets here, I'll let you know. You know, I'm kind of a buyer into the old saying that says, "What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you say." So, yeah, anyway, Roger, why don't you go first? Roger's going to introduce.
All right, good deal. Please bow your head and pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to get together today, the opportunity that we have to help others as they have their quest through life. We thank you for providing us the means and the funds to help help a student go to RILA this year, and bless everybody at this table. In your name we pray, amen.
Yeah. All right.
Will you say the pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Please be seated, except for you, Janelle. You have to stand up now.
Hold your breath.
All right. Well, today's going to be an interesting meeting because it's different than it's been in times past. But hopefully it'll just be more fun and we can have some fun and do some good. That's what I'm all about. So there's a lot of things going on that I would like to go. Oh, hi, Bill. So anyway, there is some old business and probably some new business. It seems like a great place to start.
Absolutely.
So the old business is we have something coming up on Saturday that is all hands on deck. We're having a yard sale. We're having a yard sale at my house. we're having a yard sale in my front yard. And so there's a yard sale going to go on, and I hope everybody knows what's going on Saturday. Do you know what's going on? Even Alex knows. You know what's going on Saturday?
I know, I'll be flying to Iceland.
I didn't ask what you were going to be doing. I asked what we were going to be doing.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna have a yard sale?
We are having a yard sale. Any question about that, Clint? Yeah, I'm expecting to see you there, of course. Wait a minute. He's not on board yet, is he?
But I don't.
Oh, is he? Can you hear me?
Well, he can't say,
He can't reply back. Well,
The way StreamYard works, they can't reply back.
well, that's kind of lousy. We ought to be able to, we need to get with something that they can talk back to us.
Oh, he's talking back. We just can't hear him.
That's good news, Clint.
So we have, they have a chat box there they can communicate with.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Eric, can you text Lynn and Jean and say, are you on?
I will.
And can you hear?
Excellent.
Doing it now.
So we're having a yard sale on Saturday. I've already got a ton of stuff at my house, and I haven't even got Rogers' stuff yet. So
Oh, we're having a yard sale.
we're having a yard sale.
I can bring my stuff to sell.
Absolutely.
And the profits go to
Wherever they go.
the Rotary.
Or whatever you
And
donate
so
to
I'm
Rotary goes to
donating.
Rotary, and if whatever you donate to yourself goes to you. I don't really care. My youngest
Are you
daughter
on?
is participating.
Your line. Can you
Is
hear
participating
the audio?
in this yard sale, and she's going to be in Tennessee. So all I'm doing is looking at this thing and thinking, okay, if we got a piece of junk, well, we'll collect 50 cents on it. That's 50 cents into our.
And you haven't picked up what we had at the other yard
Not
sale?
yet.
Okay.
But I'm working with Roger on that one. But we had enough time to be able to make that happen. So, but I sure would be extremely happy if I'm not the only one out in the yard Saturday. That would make me really, really happy.
And it's supposed to be not as hot Saturday.
That's right. And it's supposed to be
Potential-
only a 20% chance of rain or less, which we'll buy that because at 100 degrees, 20% gets burned up really fast.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Eric,
Yes, ma'am.
aren't you from Texas?
I am.
And you're not used to the heat yet?
Oh, I'm used to it. I'm just saying it'll be less hot Saturday.
well, I'm going to have my little demi flotcher with the lid on it, the stand under, and I've got lots of chairs and I got fans and electricity and all different kind of stuff. So what we want to do is make it a party in the front yard. My neighborhood has become more and more and more Hispanic I've lived there 40 years. Since 1980 anyway. And over the years, and it hasn't been people fleeing, it's been people dying. They die and then they sell their house and a Hispanic family buys it. I'm perfectly happy with that. And some of them are very good friends of mine, and they're going to be excited because we're having a yard sale Saturday.
I guess we just need the address.
I guess you do. So I'm going to be sending that to everybody and then some. And that you might say, well, what time are we going to be doing that? Yard sales don't have time. Yard sales are as soon as you can get there to as soon as you have to leave. That's how that works. So.
Can we bring stuff on Friday?
Yes. You can even bring it on
Thursday.
maybe not. Anyway, regardless, I really this is a club venture. This isn't a Bill Sander venture. It's just that my neighborhood supports yard sales really well. I mean, there will be people at my house at 6 if I started at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, they're serious shoppers too. They come in there and they start turning threads and seeing what we got. And can I get this for 10 cents instead of $1? Can I get this for 10 cents instead of 50 cents? Can I get this for 10 cents instead of anything? I said, yes, you can get it for 10 cents. I want 10 cents for everything that you're looking at. So, hey, listen, if they buy 10 items, that's $1. That's $1 toward our balance of our account. So, and by the way, when they take it, we don't have it anymore. So I'm really good at that. I'm looking forward to all of you guys showing up and bring party stuff. But feel free to bring a party hat. Maybe one of those kind of a deals, just for some fun. Anyway, I've got big speakers. We'll have all kind of music going on. I'm going to make sure it's all Hispanic. mariachi music and various Hispanic, Tex-Mex music, and see if we can't have some fun, because I want to attract everybody in the neighborhood. And so,
Sounds great.
okay, that takes care of that. Is there any other old business that we need to? Oh, yes. Thank you to everybody for coming to Tuesday night's officer change banquet. I was very, very pleased how it all turned out. And I'm excited to be with this club, and we're going to have an exciting year together and do some good stuff. I'm just really pleased. And then just a follow-up question. Do we have any dictionaries left? A lot or a few?
I didn't count it, but we do have some.
More than a case? So we have a broken case then. Okay. So let's see here. We talked about the yard sale.
Are you planning anything for it?
Yard sale?
No, the dictionary.
No, but if we had a couple of cases left, we were going to find somebody else to give them to.
Hey, Bill.
Were you trying to get anything going, sir?
Oh, you mean am I eating?
Yes, sir.
Philly cheesesteak.
The fries? I got chips, tater tots.
Do tater tots.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Philly
that sounds
cheesesteak.
good.
Valerie,
Yes, sir.
The one for the international school,
Linda,
because we have some left. Remember, theirs is different from the regular one. So I told her that I will give it to her school. And when I saw her last meeting, I told her, I said, let me know when you're coming so I better now, I have it in my car. So if she's here, I just give them to her. Since it's not that.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and donate those. We're gonna donate them. We're gonna donate them to the to Rachel's school. That's perfect.
I told Rachel about it.
Good. But nobody else knew. It was a secret between you two. It was a private
If
pact.
I had secret, you wouldn't know. Yeah, because it's no longer secret.
Don't want you to sit there.
Well, anyway, there's no school to give it to right now, and I get that, but I was just trying to figure out how we came out of it.
Remember, because of the time frame, the schools we went to earlier, I didn't give any to the students, or to the teachers.
Right.
I told them if we have leftovers, I'll bring them. But we finished so late that schools were shutting down, so I still have in mind that once school reopens,
Okay.
I will visit those schools we went earlier, just give them whatever they want to do.
Okay. Very good. And we have a broken case left.
Yeah. And information on that. Remember those dictionaries that were not in order?
she said it's just spinning.
I called them.
Spinning.
They replaced them. I mailed back the ones, 6 of them, I think. That the case returned because the pages were
I don't know what the Valerie means.
Yeah.
Yes, and so
The
that
pages
would be.
what? The pages, they're not in order. You know,
They
found out.
were
Wow.
broken.
Yes.
They found out because we were going through some of the things, and we had time to do that. So some of them will open it, this is this page, and it's not.
Wow,
It's not synchronized. God knows how many that would be.
that's not good.
No, because that's the first time. When I called them, she said that they don't have any clue why. And she asked me, what is the log number?
Yeah.
And I checked, they were all the same log number, which means they were printed the same time, the same day.
In the same wrong order.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with it with their cleaners. That's why.
Okay, so one of the things we need to do. How many schools did we do this year?
5.
5
You
schools.
did 5?
We regularly have 4.
Oh, okay. We did 5, counting international. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Club did good, and I'm grateful for that. Now, let's just have a quickie vote. We're gonna do it again this year.
We always do it. It's an ongoing.
No, I want everybody to buy in. So everybody who is all buying in on the idea we're gonna do dictionaries again, show it by, I don't know, stick your tongue out or raise a hand or something.
We have to have the district grant in order to do it. And we have to have enough money in our budget. because one year we didn't do it, right? One year,
It
the
was
year
COVID
that
year.
Lillian was president.
No, we still managed to do it.
We always do it.
Okay,
If we
alright.
didn't, then it must be COVID time. I can't remember
Okay.
what happened then.
That's possible. Yeah, COVID threw its monkey wrench into all kind of
Yeah.
machines. Okay, so that takes. Do we have people online still?
We do.
Oh, all right.
We have
Is Linda
Jean
Jean online?
Yes.
Hi, Linda Jean. I know you can't talk back to me for some reason, but that's okay.
She said.
And Clint's online too?
It's not, he's probably wrapping up Rotary
You don't
rally
know.
stuff.
Sure.
Linda Jean said it made her register.
Yeah, that always does. Because that way we have a record of who was on.
Fantastic. All right. So that takes care of dictionaries. We did 5 schools. Are we going to do 5 schools again this year? So
So
that
what do you
means we
think?
know how much we paid for, how much the amounts were for 5 schools, right? Because that's what
No,
we paid out already.
remember, the international, we didn't pay a dime.
Right. Because it was
And
their
they
first
are
year.
more number than 2 or 3 schools combined together. So
Okay.
what happened was, I didn't know that before, but whenever you add another school, the dictionary project is willing to donate the dictionary for that
For
school.
that school.
That's how we got the
Yeah, for the
international.
first
Okay.
year.
Yes, their first year, so we didn't pay anything.
Okay, so the only we paid for was the other schools.
Yes.
Okay, and we know how much that was. You just gave it to me.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what that really means is that we're going to be doing some more schools. That, by the way, everybody, I know, Eric, you would have loved to participate in that if you could have been here.
Oh, I've
Because-
done it before.
Because it is so, I mean, it is so fun.
Yeah, he does a great job there.
And he really does. It's like a calling. He's like a preacher. It's unbelievable. Okay, that's the dictionaries, schools. We did 5 schools. Officer banquet, yard sale. Is there any old business else that we're thinking about? New business. I received from. Is there anybody that has a new business thing they want to bring to the table?
Yeah, I asked you if I could have a minute.
Okay, it's all yours.
All right.
Table is yours.
Is Linda Jean on?
She is.
I'm pointing the receiver at you.
On behalf of the Fort Worth International Rotary Club, we wanted to express our appreciation for you being the president last year. We know it was a hard year for you because of your surgery, but we just wanted you to have a little token of our appreciation.
Oh,
All right.
Hopefully Roger will get it to you
In one piece.
in one piece, yeah.
Those orchids are beautiful.
That's
Yes.
all I have.
Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, sir.
I found out Tuesday at your listen that what I sent to you, remember when we talked about the water hole, the borehole?
Yes.
I did email, I did text you, and I found out that it never went anywhere. Excuse me. That is, whatever you did to make it stop coming, I don't know. See,
It's my fault?
see right here. I was looking at my phone that day, found out
Okay.
that he says it was not delivered.
Huh. You have to hit the little red button sometimes next to it.
Sometimes it just doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I got all the estimate, but I said, okay, let me find out what it will be instead of putting it for me, my compound. Okay, we do it for the village where everybody will benefit from it. So I asked the company if they can give me a different quote, including the one that will benefit the village, which means the storage tank will have to be big enough for that purpose. So they did. And that's what I told him I'll send it to him, thinking that he got to him, but he never did. So it's still on my phone.
Well, at least it's not my fault.
I didn't say.
Now, I said, is
No,
this
no,
for the
no. I'm so
repair?
grateful it's not my
Was
fault.
this for the repair?
No, no, no. This
Okay.
is completely
I'm looking
different.
for it.
Different, okay, got it,
Borehole is drinking water.
got it.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? I have something that I'm going to bring everybody. So one of the things that I would like to do as a new business is put a committee together to review the bylaws of the club. I got the copy of the bylaws from Debbie.
Mhm.
They're from 2019.
Mhm.
That's 5 years ago. It seemed like a good time to review them. If they're all good, perfect. If we need to make some changes, we can.
Okay.
Typically, what happens is that Rotary clubs change over time because the people change, timing changes, everything's changed, and so when that happens, the bylaws get left behind. So what we try to do from time to time is just bring them up to current operating procedures, etc. So I'm gonna be bringing that to everybody's attention. Probably be getting some emails from me about that, and
Can you send a copy of it?
absolutely I can. I will. I wanted to do it with on purpose instead of just in a hurry. All right. So that takes care of all of that. So without further ado, Janelle, would you introduce our guests for this afternoon, please?
Love to. My speaker today is Alex Nason. And he is from Russia. He was in my former Rotary Club. And he's from, I said he's from Russia.
Good.
His story today, and I'm not going to tell you a lot about it, but is how he left Russia. They didn't want him to leave, so he'll fill in the blanks. He has 2 sons and a beautiful wife, and he has been extremely successful since he's been in the U.S. He's owned 2 or more Pearl Vision, haven't he? 4? And he's done other things prior to that. Anyway, I'm going to let you fill in. I'll let you fill in the rest of it.
That's
And
good.
I know you'll enjoy it. By the way, I asked him to bring a few books. He has written a book, or more than one. But
Yeah.
anyway, and
Janelle insisted for you
no, I have his book, and it is fascinating. I mean, a 5 or 10 minute talk or whatever it is interesting, but that is fascinating. So, if you're so inclined, I recommend you get one. So.
I didn't publish the book to make money. I did it because I wanted the future generation family to know how we ended up here in America. And Janelle was a moving force for me to publish it.
Oh, wow.
Well, remember you introduced me to the TCU guy, the publisher, and
The memory show.
I remember, yeah. But anyways, so I published it. It's on Amazon. People are buying it. I have no clue who they are. People are buying it.
Can I give you my account number so they can put the money there? Since you don't want it.
Well, we can try.
That's not a bad idea.
No.
So please help me welcome Alex Nason.
Thank you. But before I'll tell you the story, I usually tell everyone one sentence, and I'm pretty sure it's something that you probably have heard before, but I am asking people never to say it's too hard, I cannot do it. Because I am a living sample example of if I would say, and I had plenty of times to say it's too hard, I'd rather not do it, but we never stopped, we always were going forward, and we made it to this country, and not only us, my wife, also, we have a 2-year-old son that will arrive but it's his kids, my grandkids, and because of us, we brought here my sister, so now it's her family, her kids, her grandkids, who are enjoying the freedom and the much better life than we used to have back in the Soviet Union. With that said, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I don't know if you know about this country, but it's under the former Soviet Union. They had like 50.
Could you speak up just a little?
Of course, yeah. One of the republics from the Soviet Union was Moldova. And it is a small state which is sandwiched between Romania and Ukraine. And that's where I was born and spent my first 26 years of life there. Under the Soviet Union, we are all like, there was no, you cannot mention religion. Christianity, Judaism, I mean, we grew up seeing the signs by Lenin that the religion is the opium for people. That's how we grew up. However, every person in the Soviet Union had a passport. Okay, you have to have it, and no matter where you go, you have like go to work, go wherever, you have to have the passport. And the line number 5 in the passport was asking about your nationality, not religion, but the nationality. And it happened to be that I was born to a Jewish family, like my grandparents were Jewish. So to me, it was a nationality. I had no idea about it. Anyways, because of that, from the childhood, I was experiencing problems. First, they were physical, like the kids were bullying me and like Jew and all that stuff. A few times I was beaten up. As you can see, I'm not a big person, so it was easy. But I took care of that. I decided that I need to take care of that. And I became the city and later the state champion of freestyle wrestling.
Wow.
And the physical abuse stopped at that time. Everyone wanted to be my friend since then. But it was more than physical. And I'll skip, of course, a lot. But what made my and my wife's decision to leave that country was the fact that we had a 3-month-old son when I graduated from the college, and I received my master's degree. I'm a mechanical engineer, and so I've got my master's degree, and I was trying to get a job. It's a different system than it is here in the States. So I came in, I was asking to be sent to this particular job, which I knew, and they told me blindly, no, you cannot go there. So I chose another one, and they said, you cannot go there. They were the chief communist party of the university and the guy who is in charge. And then, so I told them why. I knew, but I asked them why. And they looked at me and they said, are you a communist? I said, no. Your dad, was he a communist? No. Not your grandfather? I said, no. And you are Jewish, right? I said, yeah. You cannot go there. This is not a joke. I mean, that was 3 of us in that room. Anyways, I looked and I said, okay, give me my diploma and send me wherever you think I can work. So I've got my job, and on the way back home, I was walking for about an hour to the house. I made up my mind that, first of all, I didn't want to live like that anymore, and I didn't want my son to grow up and face the same stuff. So it was very easy to convince my wife. We've applied to leave Russia. You couldn't, like, it's something similar. People here in the United States don't recognize and realize what is a border. Like, nothing what we have here, okay?
Right.
It's very similar to what North Korea right now has. That's how we used to live. in the Soviet Union. So
What time period are we talking about?
1978, 77.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
So we've applied. There was a process to
That's
apply.
Brezhnev?
Yeah, Brezhnev was
Okay.
Brezhnev was the guy. Yeah. So we've applied, and as soon as you apply, you are being labeled as a traitor of the Soviet Union, and immediately, and they put us through hell, all at work, everywhere, blaming us and like shaming us that we are traitors, that and all that stuff. Anyways, we were ready. We went through all that. It took 2.5 years to get the permission to leave. And by doing that, they took away our passports, they took away our citizenship, they took away our right to work, and my diploma, everything. My wife's and my diploma, we had to give up. And so the last point was we had to return our apartment to the government. And as we were waiting, it had to be clean. Everything was sold out because as soon as we would get this out, we had to leave the country within a month or so. So here we are sitting and waiting, and suddenly the KGB comes and says, "Well, you have to come with us." Okay.
You or the family?
Me and my wife.
Okay, so the whole family there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went to they took us to their headquarters and are saying that we received an anonymous letter stating that you paid a KGB officer to get your visa. And until you tell us who you paid, you are not going to leave the Soviet Union.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which was, they were, see, the whole purpose for them, they didn't want to lose, like myself, my wife, and a young kid, 2 engineers.
Yeah.
But they were making life miserable. It's not just me, it was for everyone who was trying to. Anyways, I went, they looked at us and said, "Until you remember, don't bother to come. You are not going to." So I said, "What do we do?" So we had to move to my parents' house, which was about 100 miles away from the city, because I couldn't work. I didn't have money. I didn't have a fork to eat. I mean, it was empty. Stayed at my parents' house, and twice a month, that guy who was in charge of the KGB had, like, he would allow people to come and like hear it, and he would take people in from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11, like 3 hours, twice a month. So I had to come at 2 o'clock in the morning because the line was big, and stay in line to be in. I did it for like 2.5 months or 3 months. And every time he would look at me and says, "So do you remember the name?" I said, "I don't have a name. Get out of here." He was a big guy. Like, get out of here. Anyways, after I was asking, I was like, "Look, you don't want to let us out. Give me back my permission to work. Give me back my diploma, so I'll be able to provide." No. So I decided that I had to do something, and I told my wife, I left like the evening before. I told my wife, you may never see me again because I'm going to do something. And she wasn't very happy, but anyways, when he saw me the next morning and asked me the same question, I said, "Well, I don't have the name, but let me tell you, I cannot live like that, and I have prepared all the papers and sent them to my friend in Moscow, because at that time in 1980, they had the Olympic Games in Moscow." So I said, "My friend, if they won't hear from me later today, the paperwork will be sent to the Olympic Committee and to the U.S. Embassy. We have ways of doing that. They have ways. He looked at me and he looked. I was thinking he was going to kill me. He wasn't ready for something like that. But I was bluffing. I didn't have papers. I didn't have friends. I didn't have anything. So they put me in the cell, and for 2.5, 3 hours or so, I had no clue. I could be going to freedom or going to Siberia. I had no clue. So finally somebody came in and pulled me out from that cell and pushed me into his office. And here he was sitting. I remember, I'll never forget that. He's sitting like at his table, has something in his hands, like papers. And as soon as I entered, he throws them at the floor and says, "Get out of my country."
Wow.
Whoa.
I said,
Okay, thanks. Don't make him say it twice.
right. That was a. It was great. I mean, I was shaking, but and keep in mind, I was 25 years old. So
Yeah.
I wasn't an adult. So anyways, within a month we left. And the only way to leave Soviet Union was we had to take a train from Russia to Czechoslovakia to Vienna, Austria. That was so. When it was terrible what they did to us. We had is one suitcase per person. That's all they allowed us to take, and $130 a person. That's it. So the next morning we arrived to Bratislava, to Czechoslovakia, and we had to wait till the evening for the train to Vienna. So I stepped out. I had 3 suitcases. My wife was taking care of son. So I saw a cart. And I pulled that cart. I put my 3 suitcases and I was pushing it. And suddenly I feel something cold here. I look up. I have a gun. Yeah, the friendly Czechs, they were, apparently I was not supposed to take that. And he was screaming something to me in Czech, and I had no clue. But and my wife she became white with a gun. Anyways, was a lady who spoke Russian. She was passing by, and she said, "Don't touch that." So that was my welcome to the. But we went to Austria the next day, and in Austria we spent like a couple of days. United States had an agreement at that time with Italy that they would allow us to stay in Italy while we applied for the political asylum. So they moved us to Italy. We stayed like crumbled. It doesn't matter. And it took about 6 weeks. They were interviewing us. CIA, people who were speaking better Russian than I did were talking to us at the embassy a few times. And
that was the Russian embassy or the American embassy?
Right, yeah. And we didn't want to.
So once you were out of Russia, that was the end of Russia.
Yeah,
they
took away our citizenship as well. So about 6 weeks, and they called us and said, "Okay, you have been allowed to go to the United States." And since we didn't have anyone in the United States, neither relatives or friends, they said, "Well, you both are engineers. Houston is booming now. 1980, the oil was. That's where you are going." I had no clue where Houston was. I mean, Houston it is. So it was January 21st, 1981, when Ronald Reagan took the office. We arrived to New York, and from New York to Houston. And it was a shock to me. We were dressed like cold weather. That was also, I was thinking that they are they love us so much that they are warming up the air. But people were looking at us a little bit crazy that we were dressed for the winter.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Did you speak English?
no,
Oh, wow.
I didn't know maybe 20, maybe 30 words in English. My second language at college when they were teaching us was French. So I could say some words in French, but English very little. My wife had a little bit better knowledge, but she had the British English, like that's what they were teaching in Russia. So she couldn't understand a single word. Yeah.
Well, it is useful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can't understand them either.
Yeah. So, anyways, we arrived and they took us to took us to an apartment, and we had no clue what an apartment is. So they dropped us. The organization who helped us, they dropped us in. And they didn't speak Russian, but they had a sign. Somebody will come later in Russian. Somebody will come later and explain. Stay here. So here we are, an apartment, and this, the beds were, completely different. I didn't know what I was thinking. Why do they have so many beds here for us? One was the mattress and one was the base.
The spring.
Yeah,
box.
I didn't know. So I was thinking, why did they have so many? We don't even have spaces for all those beds to sleep on. We stepped into the closet, and my wife and I are looking at each other. What kind of room is that? It doesn't have any windows. What are they doing, those Americans? It was completely different. Anyways, we went through that. And they were right. The government was right because within 6 weeks, I found a job. I couldn't speak, but I made a drawing, and I was showing what I was doing. Back in Soviet Union, an engineer was doing everything, from the calculations to the drawings to purchasing everything. It's not like the jobs of a drafter, of a designer, and an engineer. So I made a drawing. I showed the calculations, and one guy, Zacharias, we are still friends. He looked at it and said, "Did you do that?" Whatever he said, I didn't understand. But he put me in front of a blackboard, and he wanted to see if I was the one who did it. So I started the drawings, and he said, "Okay." So he hired me as a drafter, and that was huge. 6 weeks I was working, making $11 an hour. That was very, very, very big. When I received my first check, and it was like $470, a monthly salary in Soviet Union was under $100. And here I am in 2 weeks, I'm getting $470. I came home to my wife and I said, "Sophia, we are probably going to be the richest people in Houston." Seriously, I'm not making it up. Anyways, she found another, also a drafter's job with Brown and Root, if you know that company. She was working there also as a drafter. We did well. We bought a house because people were saying you need to buy a house. So we bought a house, and everything was good until '83 when everything started to go down, and both of us lost our jobs. For about 3-4 months, I was trying to find a job in Houston. Couldn't. So I jumped in my Datsun 210 and decided to drive all the way wherever. So Sophia stayed with Rotary in Houston, and I went all the way to New York. I did get some offers, but they weren't very minor. In New York, I didn't have money, so I was sleeping in the car, and I had a friend who used to live in Brooklyn. So I would sleep in the car, but in the morning go change his apartment and go looking for a job. And have over almost 10 days I was doing that, very unsuccessful. And my wife calls me one day to his apartment. Not cell phones were not allowed. So she calls and she said, "You've got a invitation to an interview by Bechtel." I don't know if you know. Bechtel is the biggest construction engineering company, privately owned in the world, and they want to see you Saturday morning in Houston. That was Wednesday evening. So yeah, so I jumped on my Datsun 210 Thursday morning, and non-stop. I made it. I made it Friday around 10 p.m. I don't know. Anyways, the next morning I went to the interview, and the interview was for a nuclear engineer. I had no, my was experienced petrochemical, so but anyways, and it was for a job in Midland, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, but I convinced them to hire me, and they hired me on the spot. They said that they never do that, but I told them I cannot leave until you hire me. So they hired me, and yeah, I mean, 3 weeks later, I went to Michigan. My wife already found a job in Houston, so she stayed with my son in Houston. I went to Michigan, spent about 10 months by myself there, but now I had nuclear experience. So I was looking for a job around Houston, and I found one in Bay City, 105 miles away from Houston, yeah. They hired me. So I came back to Houston, and we decided that she needs to stay in Houston and work, and my son go to school. So for 6 years, I was commuting between Houston to Bay City, 105 miles each way, and I had to be at my office at 6 in the morning. So it was a nice, well, I made it, and I went, like they promoted me. I was an engineer. I was a lead engineer. I had 30 engineers working for me at that time.
Huh?
And in '87, I don't know if you are familiar with the Comanche nuclear power plant. Comanche Pit nuclear power plant. Yeah. Brown and Wood started it, and they screwed up, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission stopped the work. But Texas Utilities spent already over $3 billion. Wow. So we completed the Bay City plant and it's successful. So they approached our company, Bechtel, asking if Bechtel would take a look and tell them what would it cost to finish. So they sent 16 engineers, lead engineers. I was one of them for 6 months to do the feasibility walk down and check. And we did, and we prepared the paperwork, and Texas Utilities said, yeah, that will work. So they hired Bechtel to finish this job. That's how I ended up here. The 6 months turned into be 37 years now. But we love the place here that much that we decided to stay here because our oldest son was already going to high school. We didn't want to move from one city to another. Yeah. So I worked at the plant till '96, but in 1990, some friends we met, they said, well, we have a business. Actually, we have 3 businesses, and one of them is here in Fort Worth, the Lancaster and all. Mm-hmm. And if you want to, you can buy it because the other 2 are in Dallas. We live in Dallas, so we would sell it. Business. I mean, we've never heard of business. Anyways, my wife quit her job and went to Dallas for about 3 months to learn the business. We bought it. I stayed at my job, and she did very well. The first year, she grew the business by almost 60%. Wow. And an opportunity arose in Arlington, and we bought another business. And a third opportunity arose in Denton. We bought the third one, and she told me, you know what? It's time for you to quit. I need help.
And come help me.
So, well, the businesses were already producing enough income for us where I could, like in the beginning, I was free. So I quit and we actually built another one from scratch in Keelan Street in Fort Worth. And that's pretty much the story. I mean, we successfully stayed in business and we slowly started to sell one at a time. And the last one we sold 5.5 years ago, where Janelle was always supportive of it. And we pretty much retired. We had a great, I mean, our kids are exactly like the oldest one who was 3 years old. He always wanted to be a doctor. He was always going with those. He is a doctor. He's an ENT doctor.
Wow.
And he's has a successful practice in Austin. Unfortunately, not here. 2 grandkids, and the youngest one, he's a native Fort Worthian. He was born here, but he is a successful computer science. He lives in New York, unfortunately, and does startup with like artificial intelligence. What I was trying to say is they are doing exactly what they wanted to do. And it's a my words, like, there are no perfect countries in the world, and you guys always, everyone is saying that you Americans are lucky that you were born in America. I say that I am even luckier because I had a place where I could come.
Wow.
And, that's my 5 cents.
We ain't got a place to go, do we?
Correct. And
This is it.
not like, it has problems. It has problems, but when you compare problems to problems, you realize that there are some problems which are.
You know what mistake you made? You didn't call me when you got to Houston. I was already living there.
Well, let's. You know what? I can go back. But I appreciate it listening to me. It's something what.
So tell us about your book.
Yes.
Well, the book. What I did is a lot of you guys, Americans, because of my accent, they would ask me, "Where are you from?" So I would tell them a little bit, and I would ask, "I know America is a country of immigrants, so any of your ancestors came from somewhere." So I would ask, how about you? You would be surprised how many people didn't know exactly. Oh, I don't know. I believe Scotland, maybe Ireland, maybe Scotland. I don't know. It was my grandparents or grandparents. So I told myself, I don't want my grandkids or so to be able to say something like that. So I started to put together a story of why did we leave, how did we end up here, okay? And I did it I typed it in on my computer, and Janelle had a chance to read it. So she made me publish it. I mean, seriously.
Heavy hand.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
But this is a capitalist country. That means you need to sell it and make a profit.
well, look, it's being sold on Amazon.
Good.
And I mean, it's the story. Whatever you've heard from me right now, it goes into, of course, more details. And some of my friends who read it that said that they know I'm okay, I'm here, but they couldn't put it down. They wanted to know what's going on. So, and again, I'm not pretending to be a writer.
Yes, you are. But we're glad, because otherwise, we wouldn't have your book.
Well,
It's important. Alex,
good.
thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
How much is your book?
Thank you for
Oh, you're welcome. Thank
Hey,
you
Alex,
for
how much
coming.
is your book?
what?
How much is your book?
Oh, they're selling it $15 for that book.
Okay.
So, I mean, and again,
It's a good purchase.
yeah.
It's worth it.
This is not.
I was gonna get
I'm
another
pulling
thing
you
for
later.
the
But no,
sauce.
No,
don't take these.
no.
See if we can.
We were really glad.
I can do that.
Well,
Didn't want
thank you
to.
again for inviting me and listening.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
It's,
Thank you.
thank you.
Alex
Okay,
and I
we're-
met through
We're at the
Rotary.
time of the meeting where we kind of end it.
Okay.
And so are you aware of the four-way test? You may be.
Yes, he was a Rotarian.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do the four-way test together.
Okay.
Okay, why don't I lead it this time as the brand spanking new president of the Fort Worth International Rotary Club. All right. Of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build
goodwill and friendships?
Fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And of course, this is a four-way test, and we have to have a fifth test, and that is it fun?
Is it fun?
So we have
Of course.
Good. With that, we're
Thank you.
dismissed.
Every time I hear that, it's just fascinating.
Okay, if you haven't paid your dues.
Oh, it's dues time, yeah. Don't put the dues in the bag.
Ladies, 250.
Oh, I'm gonna buy a book from you, so I need to buy a book. Do you have $5?
That was what I call a sneaky ring.
I have to run.
Hey, where's the Doomies one? There it is. Thank you for joining us. Is it Linda Jean only? Oh, Amy. I'm glad you're here. Amy, I took some notes.
Yeah, I did too.
Perfect.
It's nice meeting you. I gotta run so I can
Okay.
get back.
All right.
Good to see you.